guys, it's Trevy the Great here again with another 40k battle report. This time we're doing Blood Angels versus Space Wolves, keeping on the Space Wolves trend. Some Space Marines fighting Space Marines, because that doesn't happen enough, I guess. Yeah, I'm bringing out my Blood Angels this time. Put away my Space Wolves for a little while because they aren't painted, and I want to like revisit the list, build some more models, figure out what I want to do with it. So playing the Blood Angels because they look pretty, and I'm playing one of my friends, Space Wolves, who's at my local game store, and we'll see how that goes. The scenario is Seize Ground. There's 3 objectives. One is in the ruin. There's the little green marker in the ruin in the center of the photo here. The other 2 are off camera. One's in the center of the board, off to the left of the photo, in that little crashed Aquila lander there that you just see on the left, and then one's on the far left-hand side of the board next to a building, and I'll show you photos of that later. The deployment type is Dawn of War, and I won the role, to deploy first and go first. Go over the list real quick. My list, I'm running my pretty standard Blood Angels list, which is 3 assault squads, melt-a-gun, flamer, power weapon, 3 sanguinary priests with jump packs to go with them. 2 Devastator squads, 4 missile launchers, 2 tactical squads. Those are the things. With rhinos, the rhinos have 2 storm bolters on them because it's cool, and the tactical squads are just 10-man flamer, missile launcher, nothing special. 1 scout squad, camo cloak, sniper rifles, and missile launcher. And to top it all off, Mephiston, the Lord of Death himself. I'm giving Mephiston another shot. He's pretty cool. I like how he kills stuff, and so we're going to try him. Normally I run Sanguinor on this list, but we're giving Mephiston a shot. We'll see how it goes. So, my opponent, see if I can remember what he has off the top of my head. I probably will get this wrong. But he has 2 Grey Hunter squads, 10-man, 2 melt-a-guns, power sword, I think, in each of them. One of them's in a drop pod, the other one's in a rhino. He's got Gnarly the Stormcaller, and he is in Terminator armor in a unit of 5 Terminators with an assault cannon, or Wolf Guard Terminators, you know, the thing, with storm bolters and pew-pew shooty guns. And then he's got, in a Land Raider, he's got 5 Terminators with Ragnar Blackmane, who's going to give him Furious Charge in that first assault, and all the Terminators in there have Wolf Claws, so very nasty. Plus they get all the extra attacks from Ragnar. And they're in a Land Raider Crusader, and he has got a Long Fang squad with a couple things in it. He's got, I think, 2 plasma cannons, 2 las cannons, and a missile launcher, I want to say. So there's that. And I think that's his whole list. I can't remember anything else off the top of my head. If I do forget something, please forgive me. I am most, sorry for that. So, here's my deployment. I deployed first, Dawn of War. I put Rhino there with 1/2 of my tactical squad in it with the Flamer, Sergeant, and then in the little building there, the ruin sort of thing, there's the other half of the tactical squad with the missile launcher. And Mephiston's hiding behind the Rhino like a little jerk, so he's going to hang out there, and they're just going to try to basically hang back and then be able to take that objective in the late game, and just sort of be there and be annoying. And Mephiston will probably try to take out anybody who tries to take that objective. So I'll bring the rest of my guys in turn 1, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, here's the end of round 1. I just realized I did forget something on my opponent's list. He has a Dreadnought with a plasma cannon. So there's that. And basically, this is end of round 1, more comprehensive view of the board. You can see the objective in the center, the objective on the right-hand side. The objective on the left-hand side is just behind the building on the left-hand side there. You can't really see it in the photo, but I'm running an assault squad up there to try to take it. So as you can see, we both brought our forces onto the board. Not a lot of actual combat happened because it's the first turn. We have night fighting anyway, so nobody can see anybody. Despite having like super senses in their helmets, they're still blind. I don't understand 40k. So here's what I've deployed. Basically, I've spread my assault squads out to try to put pressure on those objectives, and my tactical squads are going to be the ones that actually go in and try to take them in the late game. As you saw before, I have a tactical squad on the right-hand side who's going to try to take that right-hand objective. I have a tactical squad in the middle, and they're going to try to take the middle objective. I have 2 assault squads with that tactical squad because they're going to be able to go to either one of those objectives or just hit whichever one gets more enemies on it and just annihilate them. And then I have an assault squad on the left-hand side to take the left-hand objective, but there's a Land Raider there, so it's going to be tough. I've also put my 2 Devastators squads, well, no, 1 Devastator squad in the building in the center, the other Devastator squad on the right-hand side, and then my tactical squad, my tactical combat squad with the missile launcher there in next to the building as well. So my opponent brought his units in. He's got some Terminators and his Rhino with the Grey Hunter squad in it moving in on my right-hand flank, his Rally Raider moving in the left-hand flank, Long Fangs in the middle, Drop Pod coming down on my right-hand flank, so that right-hand flank is going to suck a lot. This is the end of my turn 2. As you can see, I've maneuvered some of my stuff around. I brought that assault squad back behind that building to stop the Long Fangs or the Land Raider from moving in and just annihilating it with super awesome firepower. Brought my 2 assault squads that were in the center of the board, brought them more to the middle, tried to hug some cover there, and they're basically going to be able to counter assault anybody trying to take either one of those objectives. The Grey Hunter squad that came out of the drop pod got dropped by like everything. I shot like pretty much everything at it. I shot crack missiles for my Devastators. I shot my Rhinos. I shot my tactical squads. I shot my assault squads, and everything shot at them. And then Mephiston went in and just mopped up the survivors. So that Wolfguard squad did get 1 round of shooting off, and I think it killed 3 Devastators in one of my Devastator squads, which was too bad, but either way, I annihilated them pretty quickly, and they are no longer a problem. The drop pod does have a Deathwind missile launcher in it, but my opponent kept missing with it, so it didn't really do much for the rest of the game, and I was just happy to ignore it. So there's that. We'll move on to my opponent's turn and see what his retaliation is. Okay, this is the end of my opponent's turn 2. Not a lot to say about this. Basically, we're still maneuvering around. My opponent moved up his Dreadnought, his Land Raider, and his Rhino with the Terminators. The Long Fangs took some pot shots at the assault squad in the center, but I think they'd been mostly killed by a couple of my missile launchers. One of my Devastator squads fired at it and killed a bunch of them, so they didn't do too much damage. Niall cast Stormcaller to give the Terminators and the Rhino there a 5+ cover save to make it more difficult for my missile launchers to take it out. And basically, still maneuvering, and not a heck of a lot happened. So this is the end of my turn 3. I've started to get to grips with my opponent. All the actions happen on the right-hand flank, and I was taking pictures from the left-hand flank, so you can't see a lot in this photo. Very sorry about that. But basically what's happened is that one of my assault squads moved up to fire their meltagun at the Rhino there. It blew up the Rhino, or wrecked the Rhino. The passengers jumped out, and my assault squad assaulted them. I was hoping to do a bunch of damage, but we both rolled really crappy, and I think we each lost 1 guy, maybe. So I'll have to get Mephiston in there and try to do some damage to them. Other than that, I took some shooting at the Dreadnought. I think I stunned it and moved some of my assault squads around to try to get out of range of that Land Raider, and moved the one in my assault squad in the center, moved them back a little bit so the Land Raider could move up and drop its Terminators on them. And the other one I moved back a little bit with that one as well. So not a lot. We're stuck in combat on the right-hand flank. The left-hand flank's still scared of that Land Raider. So we'll see what happens on my opponent's turn. So here's the end of my opponent's turn 3. Obviously, I said I moved one of my assault squads back a little bit. I didn't move it back enough, and the Land Raider barreled in, dropped the Terminators off. They combo assaulted my scout squad that was there and the assault squad, and with Ragnar's Furious Charge and their plus D3 attacks from his special rule and their Wolf Claws, they just pretty much wiped everything out. I killed 1 Terminator with a Space Marine Scout, which was really funny. My assault squad wasn't able to do anything. I survived with just the Sanguinary Priest. He got away successfully, and the Terminators are sort of hanging out there like, oh, I don't know what to do. But that was not good for me. A couple things we forgot about Ragnar. We both forgot about this, and considering I just started Space Wolves, I should probably know some of these rules. But Ragnar's Furious Charge ability, he only gets it once per game, and it affects everybody within 12 inches. We were just assuming he gave his squad Furious Charge. And the other thing we didn't realize was that it does not stack with counterattack, so when he counterattacks, he doesn't get Furious Charge as well. So those are 2 things keep in mind that we just forgot, and we played it so that he did get basically unlimited Furious Charge, and it worked when he counterattacked, although that is not correct. One thing my opponent did forget though is that gnarly has his runic weapon and can shut down psychic powers. So we were both forgetting rules, and it sort of worked both ways. So no hard feelings there. So otherwise, my opponent's turn was pretty uneventful because the combat in the right hand side just sort of kept going and nobody did anything. And his Terminator shuffled around a little bit, but other than that, not much happened. Okay, this is somewhere in my turn 4. I think we're on turn 4. I don't think this is the end of my turn 4 because some other things happened after I took this photo. So basically, what's going on is that my Devastators, my tactical squads, they've been shooting at the Dreadnought because they don't really have any other targets to fire at. I think they killed the Longfang squad, and then they killed the Rhinos down. They won't really do much to any of the Terminators or the Land Raider, so they're just firing at the Dreadnought at this point. I moved Mephiston over to join the combat in the on the right hand side. I think he was able to kill everybody there, or I might be wrong. I think one or two of them survived and locked them in combat, which is too bad because the Terminator's now in assault range. They're going to be able to assault next turn. I moved one of my assault squads up on the left hand side. They moved up to assault the Terminators. Now, like I said before, we got Ragnar's rules wrong. Wow, alliteration. And when I assaulted him, as my opponent understood it, his counter assault triggered Furious Charge. So we both had a Furious Charge. Obviously, the Terminators are a little more adept in close combat and a little more tougher to kill. And the Terminators ended up wiping out the assault squad there, which was too bad. So lost 2 assault squads to that Terminator squad, which sucked a bunch. I was hoping to get a bunch of wounds in, hopefully just hold up that squad for a little while and stop it from, protect my Devastators and things, but that's not how it worked out. So here's the end of my opponent's turn. A bunch of things actually did happen this turn. Well, a couple things. So basically, my opponent's moved up with his Terminators there on the left-hand side. They're going to assault into that building and try to wipe out everybody in there, which is going to suck because I do have a Devastator squad in there. He's also probably going to kill the tactical squad that's over there. On the right-hand side, he ended up assaulting Mephiston and his assault buddies with his Terminators and gnarly. He brought gnarly in to fight Mephiston to try to get a force weapon hit off on Mephiston. Turns out Mephiston actually is a really good gnarly killer because Mephiston turned around, cast his preferred enemy thing. As we said, we forgot that gnarly had this 3+ to negate things. So cast his preferred enemy, cast his sanguine sword, and then just wounded gnarly and killed him right off the bat. So that did not work as well for my opponent as he had hoped. The Terminators were able to kill a bunch of the Assault Marines, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I think the Assault Marines were able to wipe out the Great Hunter squad that was there before the Terminators hit, so that basically wiped out my opponent's troop choices, which means the game is going to be at least a tie at this point, but I still have a number of troop choices close to objectives. So that means what's probably going to happen at this point is that my opponent's going to kill a bunch of my guys, but I'm going to still have those tactical squads and those rhinos to be able to take the objectives, which will probably give me a victory. So this is the end of round 5. I'm not doing individual turns just to keep the video a little shorter. But what happened here? The end of round 5 turns out to be the end of the game because we rolled random game length and it ended on turn 5. So what happens here is basically I moved my rhino up to take the objective in the center. My rhino on the right-hand side has been immobilized, so I dropped my tactical squad out. They moved up to take the objective over there. Mephiston and I think a Sanguinary Priest is still alive there. Were able to kill the rest of the Space Wolves over in that combat. So Mephiston sort of standing on a pile of dead bodies going, "I'm awesome." Basically, I think the Assault Squad over there got wiped out, however. It doesn't really matter because I do have the Tactical Squad over there to take that objective. My opponent moved up his Land Raider. He immobilized the Rhino in the center, which doesn't matter because it's within 3 inches of the objective anyway. And his Assault Terminator, his Wolfguard Terminators were able to assault into the building and just wipe out the Devastator Squad in there. But they weren't doing much at this point anyway. I think they did wreck the Dreadnought at some point. So that couldn't come up and contest the objective. The Land Raider was obviously too far away to contest the objective, and victory for me. Yay! All in all, it was a good game. Had a lot of fun. This particular opponent's a really great guy to play against. Obviously, a couple things he could have changed in his list to make it a little better. He didn't have enough troop choices right off the bat. He had a bunch of Terminators, a bunch of Wolf Guard, but only 2 Grey Hunter squads. So what I told him to do was drop Niall. Niall is he's a cool character. He's not as good. He's not worth the 300-point price tag he has. So if you drop Niall for Logan Grimnar, he could not only make those Longfangs better with Relentless, but he could also make all of those Wolfguard Terminators troops choices. So that would mean that he wouldn't have to rely on those Grey Hunters, which are only 20 Grey Hunters isn't really going to take too many objectives, but those Wolfguard Terminators are going to be able to sit on objectives, especially in that Land Raider, and just be a really, really tough truce choice to take out. So other than that, it was good game, good lists. I like the Ragnar with Assault Terminator or Wolfguard Terminators sort of combo. That's really, really cool. Furious Charge on those Wolf Claws is just nasty. We did get the rules a little bit wrong, but that all happens. It happens to everybody sometimes. So yeah, all in all, great game. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Stay tuned for more battle reports.